So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and today I am here with my Saints and Broncos recap. This game was kind of how I expected it to go, us absolutely crushing the Denver Broncos. They didn't have a freaking quarterback, so yeah, it was going to be an easy victory. But anyways, got a lot to get to. Got to do a general recap of the game, individual player stats, and final grades. So without further ado, let's get this video started. All right, so starting out with a general recap of the game. So of course, start of the first quarter, Broncos get the first ball, and they actually did a little bit of damage. You know, they got some good gains, but they were basically running Wildcat the whole time, and, you know, it worked for, like, 2 plays. And then, of course, we cut their drive very short, forced them into punt, and, yeah, the first 5 drives of this game, I'm just going to sum it right up, they were all punts. It was just short drives led up by punts. There was 3 straight 3-and-outs, 2 by the Broncos, 1 by the Saints. So eventually, it's the first quarter, and you know, we're driving down the field. We go into the second quarter. We get to a 3rd and goal at the Denver 1-yard line, and of course, Taysom Hill runs in for the touchdown. So I don't know, for like the first couple of drives, Kendall Hinton was like not there, but eventually they put him in. He was missing passes, but you know, they only made him throw 9 times. They were thinking that they could beat us with a run game. Come on. You're facing the Saints. I think we're right now 2nd in yards per game in terms of giving up rushing yards per game. So we're 2nd in that. So you're not going to beat us that way. So we make them go with a 3-and-out, and then we have a short drive. We punt. They go 3-and-out, and then we go 3-and-out. And yeah, this was just a very, very sloppy game. And eventually, it's a 3rd and 1. They have Lindsey in at the quarterback. They botch the snap. And Lindsey, he goes to pick it up and then just gets absolutely crushed. And Quan Alexander, he picks up the ball. And it's a fumble that we recover. And then we go down the field. And then on a 2nd and goal on the Denver 2, Taysom Hill just runs in for the 2-yard touchdown. And, of course, Kendall Hinton, he's trying to get some damage downfield, throws a pass for Deshaun Hamilton, and it gets intercepted by Janoris Jenkins. I'm so happy that Jenkins has been playing much better. I have a lot less prejudice towards him, but what sucks is he is injured. He's going to be missing next game. So I'm not happy about that. I mean, if this was like the beginning of the season, I'm thinking, good, get him out of here. But Jenkins has been getting better, and, well, it is what it is. And then, of course, we are on the 41-yard line. Denver's 41, so we need to try to get some damage. We take a false start penalty, so we need some yards, and Taysom Hill makes a 24-yard connection with Michael Thomas, and then Will Lutz kicks the easy 40-yard field goal. I mean, it's Denver. It's going to be easy to kick field goals there. Then on our very first drive, we go 3-and-out. And then we got next drive, Broncos with Kendall Hinton. He's looking around, throws a very bad overthrow, and it gets intercepted by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Then Taysom Hill was feeling super dangerous. Like, on this drive, he was just incredibly dangerous. He tried to go for a pass for Jared Cook. Well, he was like in double, maybe even triple coverage. Almost got picked off. Then we lose a couple of yards. And then on a 3rd and 12, throws a pass for Michael Thomas into double coverage, gets tipped up by the Broncos and intercepted. And then the Broncos, they literally get 1 yard on this drive, but it's still good enough to kick the field goal. It's a 58-yarder from Brandon McManus. Come on. He can nail 58-yarders in Denver like it's nothing. And then Saints, like, I'm getting a little nervous because, you know, it's 17-3. I just need to see a little bit more of a convincing drive by the Saints. We get that. We get to a 1st and 10, and Latavius Murray runs in for the 36-yard touchdown. So at this point, I was just super pumped up, just saying, you know what, we don't need Alvin Kamara just to completely be rocking. You know, we don't need, like, we can make it work with everyone. And then our Broncos, we forced them to go on a short drive. We forced them to punt. And then we get another drive in, and then on a 3rd and 3 on the Denver 8, Latavius Murray runs in for another touchdown. He was balling, so he had a good game. Broncos, they punt. Then the Saints, well, we were up by so much. We were bringing in Dwayne Washington. He got a couple of yards, but, you know, we ended up punting, and then to end it, just, you know, the game just ended. We won 31-3. On to individual players. All right, so on to individual player stats, starting off with Taysom Hill. I wasn't impressed with him this game. I wasn't impressed. Like, I did say against the Falcons, that was an easy defense he was facing. You know, going up against the Broncos, it'd be a little bit of a tougher task. It definitely proved. He was barely above 50% completion percentage, 78 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. He did run for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns, so I am happy with that. He reminds me a lot right now, like last game, that just reminded me a lot of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen in their rookie seasons. Now, what I mean by that was that, of course, in their in Lamar Jackson's first season and Josh Allen's first season as well, they both really struggled with accuracy. You know, the passing game was not really good for them. They were really good on the ground game, but just not as much with the throwing game. So I just need to see Taysom Hill turn it around against the Falcons. I think he can do it. In terms of rushing, I'm going to give player of the game right to Latavius Murray. He ran for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara followed up with 54 yards. It was pretty good. Taysom Hill, like I said, 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Dwayne Washington, in his 3 rushes, he got 6 yards. And Michael Thomas, we threw an RPO to him, and he ran for 1 yard. He's not exactly going to blaze you with the speed, but he's going to get you with the hands. And in this game, well, we're not throwing the ball at all. So Michael Thomas led with 4 receptions for 50 yards. Traquan Smith, he had 16 yards. Trotman had 8. Sanders had 4. And finish it off, Latavius Murray had 2. And Alvin Kamara, he had negative 2 yards. So that's very interesting. So the offense, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for today. You know, the rush game was amazing. Pass game was not. It was good enough to bring out a win. Like, I think against any team we could do that against any other team. So I'm just going to give it a 7 out of 10. You know, it was serviceable. And then the defense, wow. Like I always tell you, it takes the Saints defense a little bit of time to get into check. At least the secondary, because, you know, the front 7, it's always amazing. But, like, the secondary is always pretty shaky. But it was good today. Demario Davis still proving that he is one of the most underrated players in the NFL. 10 tackles, 10 total tackles, 7 solo, so very good. We only got 1 sack on the game, but that's what I expect, you know, when they're running the ball a lot more. You're not going to get a lot of sacks. But of course, 2 picks definitely helps out. You know, we gave up 100 rushing yards, but don't forget, Denver ran the ball 33 times. I would expect any other team would have given up 100 rushing yards, no doubt, if they were going up against a team who ran it 33 times. They were not passing at all. So Saints defense, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. I really want to give them a 10 out of 10. You know, screw it, 10 out of 10. Like, I was going to give them a 9 out of 10, but I rethought it, 10 out of 10, because it was just so good. I wanted to hold them back because we were facing Kendall Hinton, but got to give credits where credit's due. Because if this was an earlier Saints defense, I would have been terrified. All right, and then on to the Broncos. Honestly, first off, shame on all the Broncos QBs. Shame on everyone. Shame on Drew Lock, Brett Rippon, Jeff Driscoll, and Blake Bortles. So, of course, like I said, the narrative of this game, the Broncos, Jeff Driscoll tested positive for coronavirus, and he was in very close contact with Drew Lock, Brett Rippon, and Blake Bortles. So, don't forget, Blake Bortles is their practice squad quarterback, so all of them got put on the COVID-19 list. They could not play. So originally the thoughts were that the Broncos were going to bring in their third-string running back, Royce Freeman, to play. But instead they bring up practice squad wide receiver Kendall Hinton. And in his performance, he was 1 for 9, 13 yards, and 2 picks. Honestly, he did well. Now, that does sound weird considering that stat line, but hear me out for a second. It was a very tough situation that he was put into. You know, less than 24 hours notice, he knew that all the Broncos QBs ended up with COVID. So he was put in a very tough situation. He had no practice reps, less than 24 hours. He was not ready for this game. Honestly, no one would have been able to do it. Like, okay, maybe a backup QB, they could do it, but not this guy. Like, he was thrown into a tough situation. Sure, it didn't end well, but honestly, the blame goes on all the Broncos QBs. Shame on all of you. So, on to the rushing game. Royce Freeman, he was the leader with 50 yards, followed by Melvin Gordon with 31 yards, Phillip Lindsay with 20, and Kendall Hinton, he had 7 yards. So, that was it. And the only completion was basically a 1-yard, 13-yard reception screen pass by Noah Fant. So that's all you're getting out of the offense. Offense, I'm going to give you a solid 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. And that's what you deserve. Now, I'm not going to put it all on Kendall Hinton. Like, this to me, just, it's, like I said, it's on the Broncos QBs. They're responsible for this. So, yeah. And then the defense, they were okay. Like, they did force a lot of Saints 3-and-outs, forced a turnover. So, I'm going to give their defense a 6 out of 10. It was good, but you're giving up over 31 points. We were running, basically, runs the whole time. So, that's tough. But anyways, final grade for the Saints, I'm going to give us an 8 out of 10 for today. The rush game was on point. The offense was a little shaky, but the defense overall did well, so it's a good rating. And then the Broncos, I'm giving you a solid 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10, and it's solely based on the Broncos QBs. Solely based on them. Fuck all of you. You ruined this. And I'm basically doing what Dan Orlovsky did. So earlier this week, I was watching Dan Orlovsky talk about this, and he was absolutely blasting the Broncos QBs. And they deserve to get blasted. They really screwed up, and they deserve all the shame. Straight up. On to the outro. That is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see all my other prediction videos and all my other Saints recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. And if you also want to check out the Copping Suitor podcast, link to that will be in the description below. Guys, please support that. Me and Hayden, we are working really hard on this. We really want it to succeed, and it would mean so much if you would support the channel. Right now we're pretty small, but we're growing. It's gradual. Every journey of 1,000 miles begins with that one step. So just got to keep working the way up. Anyways, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what you thought of this game. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok @SuitedSavage. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation is OUT.